Just kind of really to the closing comments here, and I wanted to talk about logistics before we invite Richard up on stage. First, again, just a thank you to Barings for hosting us in this beautiful facility, being our title sponsor, the facility, the food, all of that. The happy hour you're about to experience is all thanks to Barings. So please, let's thank them one more time if we can. Thank you, Brian. Although, can I tell a story on you, Brian? Is that okay? Little story? We didn't preview the story? All right, well, I'm going to do it anyways. So Brian jokes about the fact Barings, and they are a very hardworking, almost blue-collar in a way, kind of company, very humble, modest, not really above the radar screen. But it's interesting, they brought these companies together in the Barings name. He was telling me that as we're like touring this beautiful facility. He's like, yeah, we were kind of under the radar screen and more humble and modest until we built this building. But it's a beautiful facility, and it's a great tribute to what Barings has built in the city, and it really is a gorgeous facility, so thank you for letting us have it. The other kind of key sponsor was Frontier Capital. Richard, we called, was literally one of the first phone calls that I made. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. He's down in the back. Was really one of the first phone calls I made, and we had this crazy idea in Charlotte. We didn't have a lot of venture capital, but the idea that we had a lot of growth equity, a lot of private PE equity, and how could we use that network and muscle to help put on a venture conference in Charlotte? So Richard, I called him, and I think it took about a week for you guys to decide to sponsor. You connected us with Seth, and one of our major sponsors. They sponsored the VIP dinner last night, and I can say without Frontier's help and without Richard's and Seth's support, we just wouldn't be here. So I wanted to thank them and give Richard an opportunity to help bring close and say thank you to the conference. So please help me welcome Richard from Frontier Capital. Thank you.
I don't think, oh, here you go. I didn't know I was going to be standing in between everyone and happy hour. So this will really be like 2 minutes. I'm Richard Maclean with Frontier Capital. We're headquartered here in Charlotte. We are focused on investing growth stage in software and software-enabled companies, have been around since '99. We're about to activate our fifth fund this year, and actually this month, which has about $700 million in commitments. But we started off here in Charlotte with a small $45 million fund, and so in the beginning we very much had a more regional kind of early stage focus. We're very proud to be a part of the tech community and the private equity community here in Charlotte. Hugh McCall told me one time it takes 15 years to be an overnight success, and the Charlotte sort of tech scene is somewhere on that 15-year path, right? We're making great progress. We're not there yet. And conferences like this, and I want to really thank Dan and his team for kind of pulling this together. When he asked us to sponsor it, it may have taken us a week or two, but we really didn't hesitate because, you know, there is a huge funding gap between sort of the growth stage investors and Series A. And for guys like us, it's very important that we continue to try to close that because that really is the pipeline of future opportunities for us. And so just wanted to thank everyone for taking time to kind of be here. You know, I've heard great reviews from, you know, folks that have been here today. Seems like we're off to a great success here, and hope you all enjoy happy hour. And thanks again to you and your team, Dan, for pulling this together. Really appreciate it.
Thank you again. Absolutely. Just really quickly, Tarek, who you met earlier, was able to bring one of his young millennial cohorts on city council with us. So
I told you guys that we have been in orientation all day, and there's 6 newly first-time elected millennials under 40 that are taking the reins of leadership here. Larkin Eggleston is our newly elected District 1. You're almost in District 1, and I pulled him over here to join us so he could see it, but I think all of them know the running joke is whatever policy issue you want Tark to vote on, just say we'll put it on blockchain, and then he will approve it, and he will support it. So we are very, very all interested in supporting the fintech scene, and just a round of applause for Larkin making his way over here to see this firsthand. Thank you.
All right, so last thing, just another round of thank you for the sponsor. So I grabbed the booklet to make sure I wouldn't forget anyone. We mentioned Barings and Frontier a number of times. EY is also one of our court sponsors and great support. And where's Brad? Shout out to EY. Thank you for stepping up and sponsoring. Club sponsors, Insperity is here, Square One Bank, Avid Exchange, Nora Mosley Partners, the Forest Firm, and Fifth Third Bank. How about a round of applause for all of them, please? You saw our accelerator partners, 630, Mach 37, and the venture centers. I think it's just great when we reached out to those folks that they were willing to participate and bring some of the really fantastic alumni here. It helped make the event. Media partners, Hippopotamus, Let's Talk Payments, Start Charlotte, and community partners, the NC IDEA folks, Charlotte Chamber, the Carolinas Fintech Hub, and the City of Charlotte. How about a round of applause for all of them, please, too? And last, and hopefully you saved your biggest round of applause, we were talking about teams earlier. One of the things I realized, I'm smart enough to hire a really good team of people and get out of the way. The QC FinTech team, Sarah, Alfred, Mahathi, and a whole bunch of other volunteers from Packard Place, but in particular, Sarah Smith, who's over here, who really carried this event on her shoulders. We need to give her a huge round of applause. Thank you for all you do. It's fantastic. I think it's been a great event.